I'm Micah.
I'm Pat,
This is Faye.
and here we are. We are starting out today. This is our first time we've ever tried this whole podcast thing going on. We are, just kind of jumping in, seeing how this goes, and hoping this kind of takes off.
Well, we hope to make a difference on some level.
Yeah, that
Maybe.
too. This is something that we kind of decided, Micah's idea, to do just because we enjoy it, because we found that we have lots of stuff to talk about as two guys that are navigating through life, and we felt that maybe other people will enjoy and can kind of see and be like, yeah, you know what, like I've had these thoughts too, and I've thought about these same topics, and so we just want to kind of bring other people in and let them know our thoughts and feelings on certain things. And you might like us, you might hate us, we really don't care, because we like us and we like it, and that's all that matters. So here we are. Micah, why don't you go first? Kind of talk about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm 45, possibly 46. I'll have to ask my sister. I think I'm 45. Ex-Army, served in Iraq, was in IT for years, 12, 13, 14 years, something like that, in the Pentagon. Let's see, I did armed security for DHS headquarters in DC for a while. Stationed in Europe, in Italy, so I've seen a whole bunch of Europe. And I guess I'd say, for me, I've just been wanting to talk for a long time. The world often feels to get crazier and crazier. And while it continues to get more crazy, it actually gets more and more dangerous to actually talk about those crazy things, whether that's on the red side or the blue side, right? Plenty of stuff going on both sides. But I realized I was getting to a point in my life where I was just starting to feel suffocated. I was starting to feel like I was lying to the world every day by just not talking about how I feel about things. So a big thing with me is probably very quick. You'll probably maybe love me or hate my guts. Because a big thing with me is I'm going to tell things how they are. I mean, sometimes I'm going to offend the crap out of you, and I apologize in advance. I'm going to try to get better at that as I go. But a big thing here in our podcast is that there's nothing off limits. There's nothing you can't say. Neither one of us is going to get super offended and storm off. And if one of us does, the other will make fun of the other person endlessly for at least an entire episode.
Probably more for the rest of our lives, but that's
there's that as well. Absolutely. But yeah, I know for me, I just want to talk. I want to talk about the things that are going on in my life, the things that I care about, the people that I care about, things and, policies, that the people in positions of authority that concern me, right? For me, this is me stepping out of the darkness for a while, and it's going to be a struggle in the beginning. We're going to stumble. We're going to jack things up here and there. Me especially. You'll know that. But I know I'm a good man with a good heart, and I have an amazing dog, Faye, and two decent cats ish.
They're pieces of
Oh, and
shit.
I got a son. Yeah, Riley, 16, good kid, love him to death. And it's a little bit about me. Get
Awesome.
started. My true origin story will be saved for another time, as that's the good stuff, obviously.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Pat. So kind of a little bit my background. 36. Live here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I have three kids, three great, wonderful kids. I've got my son Eli, who's 14. Actually, just found out earlier today. He asked a girl to go to homecoming, so she said yes. So really happy for him. He's becoming transitioning from a boy to a man, and I'm just couldn't be any prouder of him. I've got
And real quick, he notified you to let you know.
Yes. Now I did ask him.
Oh, okay.
I asked him, but last night he was putting together the big poster board, and got flowers and stuff.
Which is great.
Yeah, great. And so I knew today I was like hoping, there would be some good. Mind you, a homecoming dance, he told me earlier today it was from 1 to 5 tomorrow. Then he told me it's from 7 to 10. I don't know how you messed that up. Also confused of how we ask girls the day before, but I guess that's just how they work in 2024.
Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never.
That's right.
Hopefully this girl has a dress or they got that figured out. We'll figure that out when it comes in about looks like about 24 hours. It seems like, but yeah. So I've got a 9-year-old daughter, Sophia, who looks nothing like me. But is just like me in many ways. Stubborn, smart, very driven. She just, I found out she scored a perfect score on her end of year exam last year, which was like she was 1 of 6 in the state. I couldn't be any more proud of her. And then I have a 6-year-old, almost 7-year-old daughter named Watson, who's my baby girl. Love her more than anything too. So
adorable.
Yeah. So I've got 3 kids. So I have Army National Guard, been in for 18 years now. I been in IT industry almost my whole life. Work as a data analyst. And look, one of the things that kind of drove me to do this was I realized within this past year that I really kind of lost true passions. I haven't really had one, and as working on myself, especially over the past few months, I wanted to find something that like I really enjoyed, that necessarily wasn't anything that I was looking to do monetarily. I'm very driven by money, and we joke about wanting to be millionaires, but really, in all true seriousness, like really wanted to do something that like could maybe help someone, and if it helps someone while it's helping me, I mean, geez, I mean, it can't. I mean, how could you not like that? So, just really excited to put content out, and hopefully it gets watched. If not, we've got 2 people that will watch it, and those guys are right here. So we'll always have 2 views on every video. So if you ever see a video with 2 views, just know that it was no one else has seen it other than us. But that's okay.
Well, between us, we probably have about 20-ish family members. So if you see about 20 likes,
okay, yeah, yeah, we've already told them they have to like our videos no matter what.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I got 1 or 2 who may dislike.
Sure,
black sheep. You know how that goes.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I think eventually we want to kind of talk about world events that kind of like hit us home. Micah spoke about red and blue, and yeah, so I think we're going to really kind of get into that at some point. But I think we would describe us as, we've kind of talked about, we are politically lost. Is that a good term?
Politically homeless.
Politically homeless. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, right? We're not on the red side. We're not on the blue side. I think it's really, I don't know how, with a clear conscience, I could choose either side, to be perfectly honest. I'm one of those people, I ingest too much info, too much media, and I've seen so much on both sides. It's so difficult to know who the good guys are anymore, and that needs to be a big part of the show, is knowing, again, it's safe to talk about anything here. I think we got 2 pretty decent personalities. I'll go from very serious and, putting puzzle pieces together to see a future that may or may not be correct, towards, I'll be making endless stupid dog jokes at the same time. Pretty well-rounded people, I think, for the most part. I know you can't see it behind us, but hopefully we'll take this moment to show a picture of the outdoor sauna behind us down there and our 3 cold plunges. So that's phenomenal. Big fan of Andrew Huberman. Taught me a ton. Absolutely love it. We're in the process of trying to get something similar like that for Pat.
Waiting on the HOA to approve.
Yeah.
Another topic for another day.
Yeah. In the meantime, do we talk about the?
We can.
Should we hold off?
Let's hold off, because we gotta talk about that experience another time.
Okay.
We'll go there later.
All right.
But let's talk a little bit more about the politically lost or politically homeless, because I kind of want to interject a couple things that you mentioned. Micah mentioned, red side, blue side. I think it's important, at least how I feel, that, there's a lot of people that feel like they have to pick a side.
Yep.
And, we'll say each side has pretty differentiating views on a lot of topics. And I really consider myself, I say centrist, but I consider myself independent, because there's a lot of things I like on both sides. And, and I think as soon as I start talking about something, we hear this like, okay, so let's talk about, fiscal responsibility, and like people think, oh, you're conservative. Like, well, I am fiscally conservative, but also I consider myself socially liberal, so it's as soon as I start talking, people think, oh, well, you like this idea on this side, okay, you're a Democrat, or you like this side, and I'm not. And I'm the first one to say I do not consider myself Republican. I don't consider myself liberal. I just have a lot of ideas, and I try to be open-minded, and I love listening to different points of views and kind of ping-ponging back and forth, as we call it.
Yeah, ping-ponging.
And just to kind of see where people are coming from on that. And I feel that's important to me. And I wish more people could look at that, and instead of just putting this blanket over things. So, for example,
label.
Yeah. So, for example, we when we talk about like the media, for example, like as soon as you say Fox News, they're like, oh, you watch Fox News, you're a crazy Trumper. And that's not the case, in my opinion. I think when you watch videos or you watch these personalities or these anchors, I think each one of them are like, you have your crazies, but then you have a lot of people that are, I think, pretty smart minded. And one thing we've talked about, recently, just talking about world events, was Brett Baer did an interview with Kamala Harris, and Brett Baer is a Fox News anchor, someone I really love and enjoy to watch, and I think he's probably one of the most fair people. And my opinion is when each side complains about someone, that tells me they're probably about as fair as possible. Because typically, if one side hates them and then next day the other side hates them, it sounds like they're probably telling what's going on. And that's my opinion. But we'll get into more of that later. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Micah?
I haven't seen the video.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right. But no, I'm just saying in more of general, like, who are some personalities that you just like enjoy watching or listening to when it comes to like politics? You talk about.
It's a tricky one, right? Because by saying some of the people I'm a fan of, I wonder if that kind of puts me in a box immediately.
But this is why we're here. We talk about that box, and
Yeah, I mean,
that box is, there is no box. We're open. Because
I've got a good mix of people that I listen to, and places I get news from, right? On the blue side, I get a lot of my reading news from News Nation.
Mm-hmm.
My father turned me on to that one. And then for maybe something that leans more red would be, for example, the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
So and obviously there's plenty more in between, but those are two I really enjoy, to kind of see kind of two sides of things. And it feels more balanced when I go from one into the other.
Sure.
Neither one is taking too much of my time and leaving too much of an imprint on me and how I think about things. And then as far as political commentators, people who I enjoy watching, for example, on the red side, I'd say I enjoy some of the Daily Wire guys. Ben Shapiro sometimes has some great stuff. I definitely disagree with some of the stuff that he talks about. This will get me flamed, but I like Matt Walsh. I like Matt Walsh, and I know people on the left loathe him. They loathe him, but Matt always has come off to me as just a dad, just a regular guy dad who someone put a camera in front of him and he talks every day. He was talking about one day, he was saying, I'm not like all the rest of you. Politics isn't my life. I go home and I don't think about this stuff. As soon as I'm out of here, I'm gone. This stuff's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending time with my family, the people I love and care about. You know, I'm not as heavily involved in fighting the red fight. I just he says what's important to him, and sometimes it's fantastic, sometimes it's ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit ridiculous.
Absolutely. There was a time he was talking about, depression isn't real. That feels like a really stupid thing to say out loud.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Because I've gone through
we
it.
both struggled with that, absolutely. But then again, I thought What Is a Woman was a phenomenal movie, absolutely phenomenal. We haven't seen Am I Racist? I'm very excited. It's coming out a couple weeks on Daily Wire. Looking forward to watching that. On the blue side, my second favorite political commentator, who's been my first up until just a couple months ago for like last 4 years.
Destiny, right?
Destiny. Stephen Bonnell, powerhouse of a human being.
It's funny.
Absolute monster.
It's funny you mentioned Destiny, Micah, because I have heard him only from young guys that are in the Army. So we've got a lot of young guys that are now half my age, which is crazy to think about, in the Army. And they all like play video games and stuff. And so I try to relate to them and, be that, I don't want to say fatherly figure, but, try to influence them in good ways. And but a lot of them like trying to like kind of get through to them and talk is like, what is your passion? What do you like? And I've heard Destiny as, because I guess he was Twitch? Was it Twitch or?
Yeah, he used to play StarCraft 2 professionally.
Yeah.
And he just used to just like this.
Is that like Star Wars?
StarCraft? Absolutely polar, nowhere near the same universe.
There we go. See, that's my knowledge of what Destiny does. But I've heard the name.
But he got started like this.
Yeah.
Playing video games, just talking with his buddies.
Sure.
And those talks were just good fun. And eventually he started talking about more and more important things. And he got to a point where this year he doesn't play video games anymore. He just researches and talks all day.
So he grew to an adult.
He became an adult. We're working on that. Yeah, working.
In all fairness, I play video games every now and then. I mean, when Grand Theft Auto, the new one comes out, I will probably take at least 3 days off work and play that religiously. And then I'll probably never touch it again for about 6 months. That's how I typically go, but that's just me.
And if you see people on the side of the road with holding signs saying, Grand Theft Auto will lead us to the end of our civilization, I might be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah,
not a fan at all.
I love it.
The way our society is, nobody needs a Grand Theft Auto right now. People are living Grand Theft Auto.
They are, but it's
right out of no bail. You're right back out. You're stealing that car. You're right back out. You're stealing the next one.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just shoot the cops, they can't find you. You're all good.
There's a game on Steam the other day called Crime Scene, like Cleanup or something. Like, really? That's a video game? We're teaching people how to clean up crime scenes?
It is important.
Jesus.
I mean, we don't want crime scenes to be left.
Blood. You don't feel like you should be good at hiding blood. It's not that's not a skill I want to have, really.
But some people need to do it.
People who play Grand Theft Auto in real life.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. But my point with it is I don't play Grand Theft Auto in real life. So I do enjoy it, kind of being in that realm of like, okay, well, let me go inside and just rob the hardware store because I don't have any money, and I do like to shoot down helicopters every now and then.
That's nothing wrong with that. Chopper here and there. Yeah.
But anyways, we were kind of talking about, who we'd like to watch.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. So I'm enjoying some Diablo right now, Diablo 4. Want to make that clear. Really good stuff. Very impressive. Well done, Blizzard. And then real quick, my number one favorite political commentator, right? I gave you 2 reds. I gave you 1 blue. Sam Harris. Sam Harris is absolutely phenomenal. And actually, Destiny mentioned him a couple times as someone he is a big fan of, for the most part. And, I love Destiny, but he shits on everybody. All the people I've loved over the years, Jordan Peterson, he tears that man down so fast. To actually see him give someone credit was kind of what brought me into it. But Sam Harris is incredibly thoughtful, very intelligent, very thoughtful. He talks about all the big issues of our age,
Sure.
and he can talk about really delicate subjects that most of us we'd blow it in 2 seconds in such a way that it's really hard to get offended unless you're really looking for it.
Sure.
You know, if any of you have never listened to him, please check out Sam Harris. But yeah, so those are a few of the people who influenced me. Big difference, right, from the Reds to the Blue, right? Those two Blues are not really a fan of those two Reds, and vice versa. But they all have some really great things that they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you got,
Yeah.
Pat?
So, I think for the most fair and balanced news, I typically go to Alex.
Oh,
I was gonna try to be serious. I was gonna be like, Infowars, Alex Jones. No, obviously, clearly not. I despise that man. I think he's the biggest piece of shit in the entire world.
Absolutely,
that was an absolute joke. Yeah. So if someone wants to paint me as an Alex Jones lover, I will call you an absolute liar.
Yeah,
no.
Elon, I'm a big fan of you, my friend, but what were you thinking letting that man back on Twitter? There is a line where it goes too far. And when you're claiming on, in your videos for months and months and years that these kids never existed, I can't imagine the pain. Imagine that you lose your child and then you're getting calls from random people that your child never existed. You don't even get the chance to grieve properly.
It's
the evil that man did. And, any of you out here who are like, oh, that man apologized and all that, you're an idiot. Please forgive me.
Because
you're an idiot if you think that. There's no sincerity whatsoever from him. He hid all his money. I watched how he acted in court.
He's getting shit.
Absolutely atrocious.
And I believe recently they're liquidating his whole everything.
Take everything.
I think they finally
find every country that he squirreled away that money and pull it all back.
But it was interesting just to kind of talk about him. I watched a documentary on him, and so there was actually, I guess, 2 court cases, and the first one was, I believe, what they were talking about. He seemed like very apologetic in a way, but then would step outside the courtroom and just shit on everyone.
Oh, exactly.
And then I guess it was then, if I remember correctly, this was a few months ago. Then there was another court case, and then he was just even worse. But yeah, no. But just to get the point,
I watched one of them.
Yeah,
it was a lot of footage. It was disgusting the way he acted. And every night he was going back on his show and just talking shit about everybody.
Horrible.
Absolutely the worst.
But you make a good point. Allowing him back on X, I just think that is such a fine line of where Elon is so anti-censorship, and he says, Alex Jones says some of the most horrible things, but Elon is very free speech, and we'll get onto that later. But
and make no mistake, there is a very short list. I may have, I don't know, 5 or less or something like that, right? People who should never be allowed to speak in public.
Yeah.
In general, I'm all for the free speech, period.
Sure.
It's rare for me to say, we've gone too far. Alex Jones is 100% one of those people for me.
I think
the worst of the worst.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, so my number one person that I enjoy watching, religiously, is Bill Maher. I started watching him, I would say it's probably been a little over a year, and I just fell in love. It's funny, growing up, I grew up in South Carolina, and I used to, I was a Republican. I was there were a lot of conspiracy theories that I was the birther movement. Because Sean Hannity would go on, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is speaking truth, and I listened to a lot of people that said a lot of crazy shit, and then kind of realized as I got older, you know what? Maybe this isn't true. But I remember this one clip of Sean Hannity just shitting on Bill Maher, and played this clip, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's such an asshole. Screw him. And funny thing was, I'm a big New York Mets fan. That's neither here nor there, but Bill Maher actually owned a portion of the Mets at one point, and I was even considering I'm never even going to be a Mets fan because of this guy. And and long story short, ended up watching him recently, well, about a year ago. I was like, wow, like this guy stands for almost everything I believe in. And he is, I mean, he's a Democrat, and but he considers himself a very old school Democrat. He is one of the most anti-woke people there are. And he will call out everyone, left, right, up, down, and just like call them out on their shit. And that is what I look for, is someone that has the balls, we'll say.
It's courage.
Yeah,
That's true courage.
To say, and he actually
gets paid well for it, but still,
yeah, he does. But he actually has like typically 1 or 2 shows a year. I think that the Gonads Awards, where he actually has like these brass balls that he like will like kind of go on and talk about. Oh, this someone, you know. So
we got to work towards that.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Give us a year.
Yes.
See how it goes.
Yeah, we could incorporate that too.
Yeah, we can bring him in.
Yeah, Bill Maher's going to come to our podcast.
Right 3 guys on a porch.
Yeah.
Right.
Screw his podcast. He's going to come to ours. But no, for real, he is just, again, just that's what I look for. And really, like I try to, I read and watch, like, from a lot. I'll read, watch CNN, some on Fox News, but I'm really just more particular of who I'm watching on there. I do not go on Fox News and watch Sean Hannity. I think that's just pointless in my opinion. But like, and also the same thing on CNN. Like, I will not, if it's a crazy leftist lunatic, you're not even I won't even waste my time. But you know, I really try to like find people that like can just, like we said, just like really can just have the courage to just say how they feel and what they think, no matter of what people think or are going to say. It's just, hey, this is what I think, and take it or leave it. And that's kind of what this show
is. That's kind of what we're trying to do right here. Absolutely. We've had a lot to say for a long time. And, you know, for me, just sitting here getting started, this for me is like having courage for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I felt like for a long time, I felt like a coward of not really talking about what's really going on. So this is a great step for me, you know. I hope to have those big giant balls someday, like Bill Maher. You've made me a believer. You know, a couple weeks back, he was talking to Bill Maher. I said, I don't really know a whole lot much about Bill Maher, but I'd seen a couple clips that made him look terrible. And then we watched one episode, and I thought, he was all right. I think I watched a second one, and I'm all in now with Bill Maher. I appreciated his honesty. I think, like you, I don't think I disagreed with anything he had to say. You know, I think I'd be very tempted to say if he had his own party, I would join it.
Yeah.
You know, I really would.
The one thing, and I know in this topic.
I'm sorry, real quick. Yeah, I grew up with cats. I never had a dog. It's my first dog. So I pet my dog like a cat. So for all you people in there watching, judging me right now, just know you can kiss my butt.
Yeah.
And Faye's butt as well.
Yeah, she's a very good dog. We love her very much.
That's right.
I have 2 dogs as well. They're 2 whippets. They are, if anyone doesn't know what a whippet is, I don't blame me, because I didn't know what the fuck they were until my wife found them. They are actually miniature. They're like miniature greyhounds. They're about 30 pounds. They are what we call cats inside and dogs outside.
Very kind.
Yeah, they're very kind, but they're just like, what's the
AT4?
Yeah, they're like AT4s because they got these long legs and
Star Wars, right? Big giant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their
kindness hurts.
Yeah, but they're just like the most loving dogs in the world. But we'll see them at some point.
Yeah. A lot less than you'll see Faye.
Yeah, of course. But
you know, we will allow them on from time to time.
Yeah. But you know, I tell you, you know, we talk about dogs. You know, I mean,
and if a cat walks through, just know that nobody authorized that. Okay?
Yeah,
I want to make that clear.
And Micah has cats. I despise cats, to be quite honest.
They're all right. They're okay.
Yeah, but you like it when they what is it when the one brings in dead animals in your house? You love that, right?
Okay, so I got 2 cats super fast, right? We got Mako, also known as Stinker Mako. 1 minute he's snuggling you, the next he's trying to cut your throat. So, in the blink of an eye, he'll cut
typical cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay,
I'm
Oh
want to make
yeah,
that clear.
yeah. A while back, we had someone else live in the house who had 2 cats. Absolute nightmare at that time. But oh yeah, cats would walk by, and Mako would you just slice him in the face, no reason, insane. And the best part about Mako is he gets his ass kicked by every other cat he's ever come across. So he starts all the crap, and then the other one finishes it every single time.
Yeah.
So there's Mako, Stinker Mako, and then I've got Sky, also known as Sky Baby. Bought her from a 7-Eleven one drunken night.
Wait. You bought? I did not know this. You
I
bought
didn't
her?
tell you that.
No. I've got to hear the story. This is not. This was not scripted in any capacity.
Yeah.
So please tell me
None
the
of it's
story.
scripted.
Oh, but yeah.
I don't know. There I am drinking one weekend. I don't know what it was. I wanted to get an animal. And I'm looking online and, found this gorgeous cat, this gorgeous little, kitten. And it was advertised as like this Persian style cat that they'd grow a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, like almost like a dog. I thought, oh man, that sounds cool. I'm into that. So I meet this guy at 7-Eleven, and I pull up and the guy sees me and he grabs the cat out of his little bag and he holds the cat up like this. He's holding Sky like this by the throat, like, do you want the cat? And I'm looking, a buddy of mine brought me over there, and he's sitting in the car. He wants nothing to do with the cat purchase, right? So, holding thing. I'm looking, man, I'm feeling terrible. This poor little cat. I got to save the cat now. So I purchased this little kitten for
how much?
$300 because I'm an idiot at the time. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is okay. Wow.
Well, the best part was the next day. I remember when I woke up, here I am. I opened my eyes. And my first thought was, did I buy a cat last night? And is that cat in my bathroom right now? I opened the door. Yeah, I bought a cat. And, long story short, wasn't a Persian cat of any sort.
No.
Just a standard little cat.
And most
scared of everything. The most razor sharp nails you've ever come across. She needs you, right? She cuts through any fabric you have on. You felt it the other day.
Yep.
Woof. And she's also a bit of a serial killer. She doesn't kill anything. She leaves all her creatures like 92% dead on the floor. And so I got to go then clean up the corpses. And so two out of every three. Yeah. It's never a corpse. Yeah, 2 out of 3 times you go to grab it, it twitches, and you're like, oh God. The other day I was telling you, it was like this majestic moth. Well, it was like 100 years old, Pat. I thought it was a pine cone at first. It was so large. Saw these colors and the patterns, and it's laying there in its own blood.
Could have been a butterfly.
It wasn't a butterfly.
Okay.
I mean, well, it's like a butterfly moth.
Yeah.
If that's a thing.
I've never seen a moth at all colors.
Well, it wasn't color, but it was like more like a brownish with different shades of the browns.
Okay. When you say colors, I thought of like, rainbow colors. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, long story short, cat's a serial killer, absolutely. So, yeah, they're all right.
Yep. Yeah. So it's funny. You said you paid $300. So, I mean, normally cats like that, they normally, I think, pay
Try
you.
to stop drinking now. I'm on a journey. I want to make that clear. We're working on it.
But they normally pay you to, typically people pay you to take cats. So it's just interesting that you paid. Yeah. Well, I mean, most people are like, please take my cat because I realize I don't want to commit to this.
Free or something. Yeah. It's pretty common. But.
Yeah. Would you pay someone to take your cats now?
No, I could never do that.
You couldn't?
No. They're part of the family. Irrelevant of all else.
They're like the black sheep that you can't get rid of.
Quite a lot for me to excommunicate someone from the family.
So if I said, I'll give you $100.
I have done that with one person. Absolutely.
Well, if I said,
that was very difficult.
Give you $100 for one of your cats, would you take it?
Absolutely not.
Oh man, you're good. You're good. You really do like cats.
I wouldn't take $1,000.
There's a price for everything, Mike.
Oh, there is a price.
Okay, so what is the price for? Like, someone have to pay to take your cats. There's got to be a
10,000, maybe.
10,000,
maybe.
So if I came with,
I'd have to give it some thought because I'm a guilt machine. I'd feel really bad.
I think if I had
really
$500, no, I'm like, okay. If I had $5,000 cash right now, I said, give me your cats. I think you would do it.
There's no chance. I'm telling you.
I don't know. Chance. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because you know what? If you did that with my dogs, okay, maybe.
Well, you're ready to let your.
No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't because my daughter Watson adores those dogs more than anything. So I would be
I
hard
have to
pressed.
say, I feel like I disagree with that a little bit every time you say that.
What?
I feel like if you gave those dogs away tomorrow, she'd say something like, "Oh, where'd the dogs go?" And you'd say, "Oh, yeah, I gave them away to a better home." She'd, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And she's fine in 5 minutes. I don't know, man. That's how I feel. Every time you say that, I think I don't know if I agree with that. I think she loves them, but at the same time,
Are you trying to put it on me that it's me that wants them and not her, and I'm just
yeah,
using her as an excuse?
no, no, not at all. I think you mistakenly believe that she loves the dogs more than she really does. I could be
That's
wrong.
tough. That's tough.
I could be
Maybe I
wrong.
should just. Maybe I should just like
Maybe we should just give away the
hide,
dogs, and
hide
we'll tell your daughter that we gave away the dogs, and we'll record the whole thing.
and see
And
how
if
it goes.
CPS doesn't take away the child when we're all said and done, maybe we'll post that sucker and we'll know
Yeah.
the truth. She loved the dogs
And we'll
or
have
how
to
big of an a-hole.
another episode. Yeah. Oh man. So I would like to talk about I mean, so we kind of talk about passions. I mean, what else do you enjoy with life? I mean, what are some other things you enjoy doing that I think our viewers would like to know about you?
Hmm. Geez, well, I like being a dad. You know, big fan of teaching in general.
Sure.
A little trickier with my son Riley. He's a little tougher. Um, he's a little similar to me. He's kind of headstrong. When I was his age, I didn't want to hear anything from my dad.
Typical teenage
It
boy.
is typical teenager.
I
Yeah,
got one of those too. Yeah.
But we've been doing really great lately. Earning that trust, that bond is such a tricky thing. Being able to be that parent role while having enough trust that they can kind of tell you the little things going on in their life. It's not easy.
Sure.
16, we just recently started getting that in a pretty good place. But yeah, I love being a dad. I've also got a young man, Ivan, who lives in my basement, 20 years old. Honestly, I love him like a son. I really do.
Let's talk about how he lives in the basement. Like
Yeah,
let's kind of go on that. He's a tenant in your
he's a
house.
tenant.
You don't have him locked in your basement,
He's
right?
not locked in.
Okay,
He
okay.
can
He
come
is
and go
free
as
to
he.
okay. He's free to
That's
go in.
right.
Okay, just
You're
to make
thinking of the
sure.
other section of my basement.
Well, that's right.
It's all
Yeah,
on the outside.
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
But no, it's he came in about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because here I was out one night on my porch. He just moved in a couple weeks. I'm out. It's summer. I'm just out, kind of hanging out on the porch, and see this head just slowly start coming up these stairs. And he says in like the quietest voice, he says, "Mr. Micah, do you mind if I come hang out for a little bit?" And it was like such a, like, I didn't see a 20-year-old man in that moment. The sound of his voice was like a small child, and I sat down and, and his story is probably his to tell for the most part. But, he came from a bit of a broken home, essentially. His mother and his father split up, and his mom kind of convinced him to come be homeless with him for a bit, and so he was out on the street homeless for a couple years. Hadn't talked to his father in many years. Father hadn't tried to find him and help him, look out for him. And he was just lost. He was just absolutely lost as a human being, and just so in need of a kind word,
Sure.
so in need of just someone to spend some time with him, and so we just filled this very interesting role in each other's lives, and that I have I've taken on a fatherly role with him. I give him shit if his room's not clean, right? And he's like, "Oh, I'm on it. I'm taking care of that," you know. But he is so appreciative of any advice or any guidance I'm willing to give him, and it's rare to have a young person who just says, "Teach me." I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. And it's that's given me such meaning in my life. Really has. And I've loved to watch him grow and develop. We work out every other day together. may not be able to tell. I may look a little chubby from this angle, but we're working on it. I'll be built like a Greek god again soon enough.
I've heard this for about 10 years, but that's okay.
It has been about 10 years, but now that there's a camera, I don't want to look fat forever, right? Now it's like, now I can see it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I love hanging out with him, spending time with him. I'm a big fan of my sauna cold plunge. I find that such a great experience.
We did that earlier today, by the way.
Right before this. Oh, yeah. And it's a big thing of mine. I invite people all the time over. I invited half my work to come.
Have any of them taken you up on this?
No, not a single person.
Okay, it's kind of odd. I mean, like typically, like if anyone from work said, "Hey, come into my house,"
everybody hates each other. Everybody hates each other everywhere I go. I feel like I don't know what the deal is. We're like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Great to see you." And they walk away. They're like, "That shit bag. I don't know what he does around here." You're like, come on, I just helped you with all this stuff. What are you talking about? But yeah, I really enjoy spending time with family. It's something I didn't do enough of when I was younger. It's a tricky thing. We kind of got, I'm tempted to say, 4 branches of our family that don't all communicate well. Some don't talk to each other at all.
Sounds like family.
Yeah, I can, for the most part, go between these branches, and so last 2 years I've made trips down there to kind of see all of them as I could, and that's been just amazing. Really just incredible. So yeah, I love family. I love this stuff. It's my thing. I love just sitting down and just talking about the stuff that's in my heart and my soul. That I may bitch about something, here and there, obviously, but I enjoy figuring things out. It's here you and I start doing some research lately into some of these crazy things going on in our 2 parties, and some of the stuff's been so fascinating that we've stumbled upon.
Sure, yeah.
Really eye-opening, shocking stuff on both sides. And then I love talking about that stuff, and that's not always easy.
Yeah.
It can be really tough. This is a great thing we have here, that we can just talk about anything, and rarely get too offended, at some point, my cousin Mike's going to come join us also, as he will be a full member of the podcast. He's up in Plymouth right now, and it's not great reception. So that's a tricky one. They're going to have to figure out how to pull in from time to time.
Not great reception.
Yeah, every time we talk on the video phone, it's either blurry or like we lose the connection.
Is he still living in the dark ages? I mean, what is the?
You'd think so. What's happening in Massachusetts? I don't understand. Got the maximum package. I don't get it.
Do they not have? I mean, does he not have Wi-Fi? I mean, what's the?
I don't know what it is, but yeah, cousin Mike's another person I love to death. I love spending time with my 2 sisters. They are phenomenally incredible people. Out of us 3, I have 2 younger sisters, Bethany and Renee. We're all extremely different. We all have very, very, very different skill sets. Together we're like the Voltron. If we can all get together and I don't offend everybody long enough, But yeah, Renee's like the most organized human you'll ever meet, the ultimate researcher. She's there for me in anything I ever need. I love you to death, Renee. You're absolutely incredible. If Renee's trying to help you figure something out, she'll spend 1,000 hours on it. She's incredible. She's one of the most efficient humans I've ever met. And Beth's the same way. Love her to death. Been there for me so many times, especially in my younger years. Beth.
He's a very alpha person.
Oh, she is, absolutely. Yeah. Beth can walk right into a room and command the whole thing. But she'll go to a party and she's the life of the party at the same time. Again, just amazing people. They're just amazing people. Yeah, so a little bit more about me.
Yeah.
Somewhat answered your question.
No, yeah.
Rambled a little bit there. How I roll.
Well, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here to ramble.
Yeah, so I, some of my things I really enjoy, I grew up in South Carolina, joined the Army National Guard, graduated from Clemson. So really do enjoy college football, follow it. believe it or not. It's Micah's not going to understand this reference, but some of you might. Um, my youngest daughter
Because
is
I
named.
watch fighting, real men's
Yeah,
sports.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
my thing. Okay, let me make that clear. That's why I don't understand. I'm on that next tier. All right,
yeah.
carry on, Pat.
So, well, let me just kind of take a step back. My son was born. My wife at the time, Kendra, who is a phenomenal mother, by the way. Um, she was, I believe, Eli. When Eli was born, I think I was 21 and she was 20. And so the Giants had just won the Super Bowl, and so he was named Eli after Eli Manning. He still despises that because now he's a Rams fan, but he thinks Eli Manning sucks. But I said, well, yeah, you may think that, but that's who you're named after. Um, Sophia I had no part in that name. That was a whole nother story. But my daughter Watson, spelled Wattsyn, which was my wife Julie. I can't remember who came up with the spelling like that, but we were at the national championship game. Clemson beat Alabama, and she was conceived shortly after that game that we were at. Eli was there too, by the way. We took him out of school to go to that. And
Not during the conceiving portion.
no, no,
Okay,
no,
so
no, it was not. No,
I want to clarify for the people
yes,
that
yes,
yeah, CPS
absolutely.
don't come for any of us, please. Dear God,
Correct. It was.
Jesus.
We know. Yeah. No, it was not. It was not that night.
Big deal.
But so yeah, she was named after Deshaun Watson, which now is he.
Wow,
Yeah,
you
it's
really reaching for that one.
yeah, but it was and
Wow.
really after all the shit he's gone through, it's
How
kind of
did that compromise go down? How did that conversation go
that
down?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Julie was just she was open to the idea. I kind of threw it out there, and we went with it. And I tell you what, regardless of where the name derived from, I it was important to me because I knew that this girl was going to be special. And I'm not saying that my other two kids weren't, and won't be because they are. But
Absolutely great
but
kids.
she was just I don't know. It just had, and I wanted something. I just wanted her to be unique. So it's funny. Like when Julie got pregnant, we I had already had two kids, but I want to say convinced her, but like I brought up the idea of like
Get
let
convinced.
well no like
Keep going.
regarding finding the gender. So we did not find out if we were having a boy or girl
Okay.
until she came out, and so we had already had a name picked out for if it was a boy and for a girl. But
What was the boy name?
it was going to be Hunter.
Hunter. That's
Hunter.
a
Well,
great name.
because
Yeah.
well, the funny thing
Oh
was,
Lord, here we go.
well,
Which sports legend is named
well, well,
Hunter?
well, during that
Something.
game, Hunter caught the winning pass from Deshaun Watson to win it. Yes. And yeah, so yeah. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I was
But
gonna name my son George St. Pierre Jr. for the record also. Yeah.
well, the whole point was um with the name, the spelling, just wanted her to be unique. And if you search that name, I think I've only found like even Google, just searching Wattsyn, there's only like one site that I've seen that spelling reference. So I tell her every day, I was like, sweetie, you're special, you're unique, and you're gonna do something big. And hey, she's 6, she'll be 7 next month, and I don't know what it's gonna be, but I know. But yeah, so just my family, man. I love my kids more than anything, and I will do anything for them. But yeah, so that's really what I have really just like life has pointed me. I mean, I've gone through a lot of crazy changes over the past few years, over this year, and yeah, I just the kids. We only have really 18 years of being able to mold these
Guide. Yeah.
kids and guide them to be responsible air breathing souls.
I think
And
of that quote real quick, that Peterson quote, right? If you don't teach your kids, the world will.
yeah,
And it's just
absolutely.
so true. We
Yeah,
have such a short time to make a good positive difference in their lives and to hopefully set them up enough that we hope they're going to be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I look at, like, I saw this thing, I think it was on Facebook or something, I ran into. They were like, you only have 18 birthdays, 18 Christmases, 18 of these until, like, you don't have control over that anymore. So it's like with my son, I mean, he's going to be 15 on January 1st. He was born on New Year's, 1/1/10. And, so it's like, man, I mean, this kid's going to be fucking driving soon. Holy shit. And, I just feels like just yesterday, he, he was born, but, so it's like, just really this stage of my life, just trying to focus on them and just trying to incorporate just life skills. And, I want every single one of them to be independent and to be able to survive on their own. I mean, everyone, I think the hope, I don't want to say the American dream, because everyone's dream's different, but like
a lot of different dreams these days.
Yeah, but like most people look, they want to have a partner, they want to own a house, they want to have kids, but yeah, that's great. And I'm all for that. But I also want these kids to be able to like survive where like, hey, like you can be on your own and you can be just as successful. And, I mean, and whether it's through education, responsibility, work ethic, just wanting to teach them. And, and I will say, out of the three of them, I don't want to say, I shouldn't say I have hope, but I think my middle daughter, Sophia, I have seen is probably the most strong-willed out of the three of them. I mean, she is as independent as they come. Like when you talk about like how kids are and like touchy, feely and feelings. I mean, my oldest and youngest are very like that. Sophia, she is just like, no, I don't need that. Like she is just like, I've got my, like, I don't need your help. Like, and where the other two are always like, come help me with this. Sophia is just, she's got it. And so I know she's gonna, I'm not as worried about her, which is crazy enough. But the other two, they're just gonna, they're just gonna take a little bit more mentoring. And hey, and even if it takes longer than that, who cares? As long as I want to be that dad that they can come to no matter what. No matter what.
To be these days.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. These are the days where when kids leave our home, there's no telling what thoughts and ideas go into their head, especially in a lot of colleges these days.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, there was a Harvard study not too long ago, age 18 to 24, 50%, I think it was like 49%, all supported what Hamas did.
Oh.
Right? October 7th. Can you imagine that?
Which is crazy. That was a year ago, by the way.
Yeah, your kids, right? You go off to college, and then, right, that 6-year range, every other one at that place thought it was okay. Rape, murder, mutilation, the worst stuff in the world that we've ever seen. And they think that's okay.
Yeah.
If you're a parent, what you really need to take away from that is you've got only a few short years to make your kids as strong as they can, because there's a great chance they're going to go off and they're going to come back and they're going to think you're Hitler, you're a monster, and for some reason they support terrorists now, and as do all their friends. You know, and that's I tell my son Riley about that quite a lot. Is what actually gets you these days? It's your friend groups.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I think, a lot of reason why people join political parties and they can't leave, because everyone they know is in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All their friends. It's, they change their mind on something important that one side stands for. They're hated. They might lose, every person in their friend group in the blink of an eye. And so it's so difficult because we're so divided these days, right? Which is a big thing. We want to learn how to talk again, right? But it's a tricky world. It really is a tricky world,
No, I totally agree. It's just, you talk about like the colleges and what they're learning and stuff, but I mean, you can even go into like the schools, like the public schools, like K through 12 and just the friends. I mean, like, I'm this sound crazy. Julie, Watson's mother, another phenomenal mother, by the way, mentioned that Watson was talking about the Hawk Tuah. Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
Jesus.
which
Oh,
everyone knows
gross.
what that is, but I'm like,
Oh,
how does my 6-year-old heard the
brutal.
term Hawktua?
Oh,
Thank God she didn't know what it meant. But it's like, she's my first grader like, Hawktua? Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
how does that happen?
yes. And I'm like, I know she didn't hear it from me, and but like, I was like, so like, that's the shit. I'm like, oh my God, like I would have never thought, like, I would have even, like, that was just never, like, just with this day and age. I mean, I think about when I was in school and like just internet, we were still, I mean, I think they had DSL was a big thing as I got older, but my mom, we were still using AOL 4.0, the phone line. Everyone else had AOL 9.0, but my mom was always worried about it breaking her computer. So we were always kind of way back for it. So like, but even then, like the idea of just having this media like 24/7 and just being able to be aware of everything goes on. Like, the only time I knew what was going on in the world was if I watched the local news. What kid watches that? But yeah, so now it's just like all the stuff that's going on. I mean, these kids hear about it, like, and I'm learning stuff before they are. I'm sorry, they're learning stuff before I am. Oh gosh, I mean, it's crazy. I was a elementary education major, and when I was student teaching, we had like field day, and all these kids are doing like one of these dances. The gosh, I can't even remember what it was, but like one of these like coordinated dances, like, and I was like, how do these elementary school knows this? And it's YouTube. I mean, everything is YouTube these days. I mean, my all 3 of my kids, if I let them, they would watch YouTube 25 hours a day. I mean, no joke.
Easy thing to fall into.
Yeah, and it's just, and it's normally just shit. It's not even like, so I really try to limit the YouTube, because it's just like, it's this mindless crap they watch. Like, I'm almost, I at this point, I'm like, you want to watch Disney movies? Have at it. But like, the YouTube is just like, I'm over it. That's just.
But we love you, YouTube.
Yeah, we do.
Our future home.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, I just don't like my kids watching you all the time, but we really will like it when you have our videos on there.
But we'll consider forcing them to watch it full time if it means, we get to keep this podcast.
Absolutely.
That's right. We'll do whatever it takes, YouTube gods.
Yes.
That's right. Please don't cancel us. If you are considering it, just cancel one of us.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man.
But so I think it's a pretty good conversation. Maybe a pretty good place to stop it here.
I think so.
I think this has been great. A good introduction to who we are a little bit, without getting into too much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been fun. Great experience. I'm glad you're here with me to do it, my friend.
Me too.
Pat and I, how long have I known you for now, Pat?
Well, so I was thinking about this coming over here. So I moved up to Virginia in 2014 with the Army. We had a mobilization up here. Met my girlfriend at the time, Julie, and moved in with her. Well, and her parents, whole nother story, and got a job at the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. We were doing IT support for the Air Force.
We met at the Pentagon.
And that was March of 2015. And so I moved over to your side, I want to say in May. So May 2015. So it's been almost 10 years.
Yeah. And then while we've always kept in touch, we still kind of drifted apart for a while.
Yeah.
And we really just, I'd say fairly recently, last couple months, really just
kind of connected
again, and we're reminded how much we love each other.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
I love you like a brother, man.
Me too, buddy.
This stuff's been fantastic. And having you in my life again, just been tremendous.
No, I appreciate that. Same with you. But it's I always have to give you credit for one other thing before we go. So
I'm all ears.
We were so Micah we're in Stafford, Virginia, which, if you're not aware of that is, we're about an hour south of DC on the Virginia side. And so Julie and I were living up in McLean, which is right outside Tyson's Corner, right outside DC. Micah moved down to Stafford and was like, dude, like, you got to come down here. This is awesome. And so we did the flag football. We'll talk about that another day.
Oh,
and
my
then,
God, the flag football story.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's a story.
We were all defeated. Instead of undefeated, we were every defeated. But another
Every
day.
game.
Every
Can't
game.
give any more information
Yeah.
past that because it was an experience.
But yeah, so he found this area, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we bought a house down here and been down here ever since. And so it's I give that credit to you. Why I'm here? Because of you, buddy. So anyways,
I appreciate it. And why we're here right now is because of you as well, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you all for your time.
Should we say, what is it, like and subscribe? Isn't that what everyone says? Yeah, make sure you click like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And if you do, we'll give you possibly close-up photos later on in life of my dog.
Yeah.
Right, because she's the best. Hold on, little Faye. I know, I'm so sorry. Hold on. There's little baby Faye. Yes. Anyway, thank you all for your time, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.